Good evening, everybody. I would like to call to order the June 14th, 2023 regular meeting of the Monee Village Board of Trustees, 6:34. If I could please invite Pastor Jim Martin up for the invocation.
All right, let's pray. Oh, sure. Just turn this around or no? Sure. Okay. You do that if you like. Very good. All right, let's pray. Lord, we come before you. We thank you for this day that you've given us. You're a great and mighty God, worthy of all of our praise. And so, Lord, as we come together tonight, pray, Lord, that you would open up hearts and minds, great conversations here. Might they all be pleasing to you, Lord. Give great, fresh thoughts. And Lord, let there be a sense of unity. Continue to do a good work in this community. Guard it and protect it. And, Lord, we give you all the praise for what you're about to do. And we ask this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Gonzalez.
Present.
Trustee Horn.
Here.
Trustee Henson.
Present.
Trustee Rakes.
Present.
Trustee Wilson.
Present.
Trustee Udris.
Present.
Open to the public. Agenda items only, please.
Norb Snow, formerly of the Police Pension Board. I've been on the board since its start, 2011-12, when we hit 5,000 people and had to become, self-financed. I got a letter yesterday. It'll be beneficial to replace me. Thanks for your service. Don't let the door hit you in the butt, essentially what it says. So, anyway, I'm out. I won't quit as village treasurer without notice, so, unless I've already been replaced, I don't know. But thank you. I enjoy working with the guys and everything. So that's it.
Can I have a motion to approve the consent agenda, please?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Horn.
Yes.
Trustee Henson.
Yes.
Trustee Rakes.
Yes.
Trustee Wilson.
Yes.
Trustee Udris.
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez.
Yes.
May I have motion, please, to open the public hearing for the consideration of annexation of 90 acres, Governor's Highway, south of Industrial Drive, the PIN number 211428. 10000020000 and 2114281000230000.
I'll make that motion. Second.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Henson.
Yes.
Trustee Rakes.
Yes.
Trustee Wilson.
Yes.
Trustee Udris.
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez.
Yes.
Trustee Horn.
Yes.
Thank you, Mayor. This is a public hearing relative to the annexation of the 90 acres, which we referred to as the Bonema parcel. The village bought that property in August of last year. It's vacant farmland. It was unincorporated. The village is annexing that property into the village, so we have more control over it with respect to zoning and other matters. And pursuant to state law, there's got to be a public hearing, which is being held today to see if there's any input from the public or concerns about this request. I guess none.
All right, then, can I please have a motion to close the public hearing?
I'll make that motion. Second.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Rakes.
Yes.
Trustee Wilson.
Yes.
Trustee Udris.
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez.
Yes.
Trustee Horn.
Yes.
Trustee Henson.
Yes.
Okay, and moving on to the clerk's report.
Thank you, Mayor Bogues. Just want to, a couple things mention. Tomorrow, there's a digital records management and retention that is happening with the International Institute of Municipal Clerks. And I will be attending that virtually so that we can, the additional things that they do updates on, what we can actually have as digital, it changes all the time. And so I'll make sure that I'm a part of that so that we can get some more things transferred over and get our records and retention up to date. And last but not least, I just wanted to make mention again, as far as any communication, if everyone, and I've been saying it for the past several years, but if you guys could please make sure that we have great communication back and forth when it comes to, different matters, from whether the village hall is being closed, shouldn't I be here if there's something hazardous or something going on, please, let me know. And as far as any other things board-wise, if you could please make sure that you're including me on that, I'd appreciate it. End of report.
Thank you. Moving on to my report, item number 1, appointment of Robert Christensen to the Police and Fire Commission. If I can have a motion. Bob Christensen's a 20-year resident of Monee. He's spent 22 years with the Madison Police Department, and he's got experience working with both fire and police board in Madison. So if I can please have a motion.
I will make that motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Welcome.
Oh,
Trust-
sorry,
Yeah.
Heidi.
I just said welcome.
Okay.
Thank you.
Trustee Wilson?
Yes.
Trustee Udris?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
Trustee Horn?
Yes.
Trustee Henson?
Yes.
Trustee Rakis?
Yes.
Okay, and then item number 2 would be the reappointment of Ed Gross to the Police and Fire Commission. Ed's been with us for some time now, so motion, please.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Trustee Udris?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
Trustee Horn?
Yes.
Trustee Henson?
Yes.
Trustee Rakis?
Yes.
Trustee Wilson?
Yes.
Item number 3, appointment of Chris Fairchild to the Police Pension Board. Chris is a resident of over 2 years in the village. He's current VP of Alexander Chemical, which is a union chemical corporation. He's familiar with union negotiations, and he is also a West Point grad and past president of a veteran 501c3 organization in Louisiana. So may I please have
I'll make that motion.
Second.
any discussion? Roll call, please.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
Trustee Horn?
Yes.
Trustee Henson?
Yes.
Trustee Rakis?
Yes.
Trustee Wilson?
Yes.
Trustee Udris?
Yes.
Item number 4, appointment of Brian Glynn to the Police Pension Board. Brian is a 16-year owner of Phillips Chevrolet. He's worked with Scaletta Malibu Coach Builders, which has built heavy armored Suburbans and Cadillacs for the Secret Service, Department of Justice, Department of Defense, and the State Department. He's been an EMA volunteer for the past 1.5 years. He's got a son who is a 13-year Navy veteran and a 15-year Chicago police officer. So he definitely says he's got great respect for all military and police personnel. So if I can please have a motion.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Trustee Horn?
Yes.
Trustee Henson?
Yes.
Trustee Rakis?
Yes.
Trustee Wilson?
Yes.
Trustee Udris?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
Item number 5, reappointment of Oscar Trevino to Planning and Zoning Board of Appeals.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Trustee Henson?
Yes.
Trustee Rakis?
Yes.
Trustee Wilson?
Yes.
Trustee Udris?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
Trustee Horn?
Yes.
Thank you. Before I move on to item number, Brian just walked in. Brian, would you like to stand for everybody and say hi?
And I know that Chris is on his way. He
Okay.
texted me this afternoon and said, "Is the meeting at 7?" I said, "Yes." And then I realized, so, yeah. Yeah, mindlessly doing that. So he's on his way
Okay.
as well.
Thank you. Before I move on to item number 6, I would just like to give a huge congratulations to Trustee Mike Wilson, who has recently been promoted to the rank of captain with the Country Country Club Hills Police Department, so.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you.
And also, not as exciting as that, but remember, please, everybody, to fill out the survey with the Will County Department of Transportation, the freight mobility study. It is on the website, so please fill that out. Let them know that we do not want a truck route coming through our town. So now, item 6, presentation, core construction. So as everyone has heard over the past several weeks, our Economic Development Director, Administration, and Legal Counsel have been working tirelessly on bringing our first national retailer into our town center. Now that the first step is soon to become a reality, we feel it would be best to find a reputable regional construction management company to facilitate this and manage the infrastructure while working with our engineering team in order to more easily attract additional retailers and businesses. Geis Van Baren, and is Heather with you?
She is not.
Okay.
Hopefully, she's off the tarmac in Frisco as we speak.
All right, so Geis Van Baren is with Core Construction Management, so he's going to share some information on their business and projects that fit into our comprehensive plan concept.
Yes.
So welcome, guys.
Yes, thank you all for having me. Humbled and very thankful for being here tonight. So I prepared a little bit of a few slides to share with you all. So we'll start there. So, as introductions already, but my name's Geis Van Baren. Been at Core Construction for a little over a decade now. So grew up in Chicago Heights, Illinois, and have been a part of the region, if you will, from here and in Northwest Indiana a little bit. And yeah, been in construction for 13, since I was 13. First generation, not a farmer in my family. So you can imagine how that goes sometimes. So a little bit about Core Construction. Core Construction had its beginnings nearby Morton, Illinois. So central Illinois, just by Peoria. 1937 opened the doors really by a German immigrant, kind of indentured here as a brick laborer. And from there spurred the company into existence, creating Autoball Masonry, which is still in existence to this day, kind of hovering in the top 5 masonry companies within the country, and then has grown to what we see here on the construction side of things in 20 plus states, and worked in over 36 states. So we're really from Sacramento, California there, as I like to say, all the way down to Fort Lauderdale, just a little north of Miami, and really everything in between. And which, you know, I like to say, what does that really mean, right? For coming here, it's really not about that, because we're local. I'm a local guy, right? Grew up locally, bring that local knowledge and that expertise, but have the backing of a company from across the country, have national resources behind me. So anytime there's market studies or anytime we get into any development projects or anything like that, there's a poll or market analysis or studies that we can track nationally within our company and more to bring that locally here to spur all that. So it doesn't feel like that, quite honestly, that I'm part of a national company, because we are a close-knit family, believe it or not, but it's a great thing to be able to talk through. And really, our company, there's a few more stats here just to go through. Qualification-based work is really where we hang our hat, whether it be in municipal work or a lot of public sector work, municipal or K through 12 or higher educational work. That's where you'll see Core Construction, and really where we exceed in. And a lot of those stats, you know, right here, number 13 government contractor in the U.S. And then on the bottom there, it just really goes just to show a little bit of our experience and where we excel. And some of those, the CM projects, you know, $6 billion in CM projects, which is what the city center is what the feel for the city center is for us, right? Is really to be your advocate, to come and work alongside the village of Monee to ensure the success of that project through a full transparency approach. And that's where the construction management, for me personally and for a company, we excel with that fully transparent listening and acting on behalf of the client. So just a few projects, and if there's any questions as I go, please stop. I liked how the pastor opened up about good and lively conversation. I like presentations to be more of a conversation than me kind of walking through monotonously a little bit of the projects and who we are. But I wanted to showcase just a few projects of maybe what it could be, or maybe might inspire and spur a little vision of some thought process of what that, what the development could look like. This is in West Lafayette, right by their town hall. What you're looking at there is their public library, and then the aerial on the other side is their town hall. But really introduce this plaza so that could be more of a welcome center and more of a destination for folks. They hold small concerts, food trucks come through here, and they kind of close that down, responsibly, and just made it a nice destination for West Lafayette. And then we transition over to City of Henderson. So this is just some civic work, really exterior development. There again, to really create more of an opportunity on some green areas and some spaces that may be a little awkward on what we can do to create a gathering space and the best purpose for that. Here in Tempe, Arizona, we did, just some renovations to the exterior of the plaza. And this here, again, they hold some concerts and some outdoor venues there just to have more multi-purpose for that stadium, not just one use. Then some different retail centers. This one was in Dallas, Texas. So just to grandstand a little bit on some of that municipal parking there that we have, and then there's certain developments which could be XYZ stores or people that come in to build on parcels that are ready up to grade and ready for foundation ready, if you will. And then here we get into some parks. I have a couple of stats on some of these parks are pretty unique and interesting. Just the kind of the volume of what they do and different splash pads, areas for the kids on playground equipment and all these things. The aerial view really captures what that development looks like there. And then this is in Coppell, Texas. We have this Andy Brown. This actually, part of this was the 48,000 square foot rec center. This was on about 60 acres there that we did with a pond there and some bridge work. Very interesting project for them. And then this will be one of the last ones here in this multi-generational center in Arizona. So just a little bit of showcasing of what we've done in the municipal world with some parks, with some green spaces, how we can improve not only developments and get them ready for stores or for retail centers, but also if there's other functions in that to make sure that it's getting the best use for the community. So what does that mean? When you boil it all down, right? We have Monee with the big picture outcome. We have the architects, engineers, ourselves with concepts and designs. And then we bring our professional services to that, to aid through that process, just to ensure that the dollars are being handled responsibly, that there's a full transparency approach. Obviously, spurring those ideas as we go through and keeping things on schedule. And we see that really as the best value for the client and for the community, just to ensure that things are keeping with the schedule. We all see sometimes those projects you drive by and nothing's changed in 3 months, 4 months. Our position there is to make sure that things stay on track and keep moving. So then just a few items there of the benefits of the CM delivery method as we see them. That healthy cohesion, sometimes I supplement that word for tension, because as you do have within a team, and you think of just a team, even a basketball team, right? There's tension, right? Which there should be. When you're a coach, you're complimenting, but then you're also, maybe criticizing and giving some good words to keep going. And sometimes on a team like this, you have to have that advocate there. And then keeping that budget, we can set a stake in the ground and say that's what our budget is, and let's design towards that, right? And we can help through that process to ensure that we're keeping that through kind of those cost studies that we see locally, bringing some of that national presence to make sure that we're staying on budget and on time. And then phasing, if there's needing for that, some of our expertise in some phasing opportunities. Sometimes in different developments, you have one that comes up out of the ground fast, and then you have others that may impact during their construction. So how does that work to make sure that the community's safe and that other people investing aren't being impacted by construction around it? And then that guaranteed maximum price. That's, once we get through the program, once we get through different designs and what we're looking for, then we can lock that in as a GMP. So that's a guaranteed maximum price. Through that open book and transparency, through that whole process, and in the economy that we're in, right? We all know, and you read 30 different articles and what's really going on, right? But in that economy, we can forecast that, and we do have, we study that probably closer than anyone for sure in the construction industry with, you call it lumber market or concrete. For a long time we were on rations with concrete locally. So we understand kind of soup to nuts there, what the economy's looking like locally and how that can impact what the project is, so we can make sure we're staying on that GMP, if you will, for that dollar. That's all I had. So any questions or any comments, anything that I could clarify or?
When you talk about the GMP, that actually was something that was sticking in my head.
Yes, sir.
Because with the construction costs going on right now, how are you handling that in terms of some of the, I know like copper has skyrocketed at some points, concrete, like you talked about, lumber and all that. How are you working that in to that guaranteed price?
No, great question, and it's a tough question. Now, to answer it directly, we recommend that there's contingencies. There's some, like an escalation contingency, for example, is especially in the last probably 2.5 years. We've definitely been an advocate for holding that in a budget responsibly. And then in the beginning of really in the program and in the infancy of the project, to carry some design and some construction contingency. And, you kind of look at it as, the first price that we'd give is kind of like a log, right? And then as we get through the next one, you just keep whittling it down until you can kind of ditch those contingencies. And then right as you're kind of locking in that price where your GMP comes in, as a team, we can responsibly say, hey, let's drop our construction contingency down to 1%, maybe escalation down to 1%, if the market supports that thought process. And that way we're still protecting ourselves with a little bit of a buffer, but keeping all things considered, like you mentioned.
Yeah, so basically it stays kind of fluid through the project.
Yeah, it is. And once you get to that GMP, for the most part, you're locking your subs in, your subcontractors, or you're locking your trade partners in, and there shouldn't be a variation, but it's still, in my opinion, responsible to hold some contingency there, just in case you have the, oh boys,
Right. Okay, thank you.
Yep, you're welcome.
Mr. Van Buren,
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry.
Yes, sir.
Are you familiar with the Normal, Illinois Uptown project or Uptown scale?
Not intimately, I have heard of it.
Okay.
Yep.
Just in that aspect of integrating the business district along with the parks and layouts, and in your personal experience, what project specifically would you kind of say that exemplifies the mirroring of the business districts along with the community, walkable cities type aspect?
Yeah, great question. With Chauncey Avenue, even though that was kind of in the middle of the, you have your town hall and your library on one, that was probably the most recent, in my opinion, of kind of marrying, instead of just a street, how do you make that more of a welcome? You had a parking garage adjacent, and then there's some student housing a block away, but then there's kind of a tattoo shop and a parts store, so it's kind of, the older part of town. What they did is they repurposed, their town hall was an old high school, and they repurposed it to a town hall. So this was an extension of that development of what do we do to kind of revitalize this part of town. It's a small example of what you're talking about, but that's where on some of those developments, if it's an existing for sure, you can be creative with some of those green spaces that, instead of maybe, you're hanging on the maintenance of that, of just mowing it, and you look in, you got a 3-acre piece that you just constantly mow. What can you do to turn that into usable space? And I do look at, they haven't really done too much improvement to it, but the Village of Madison, right by their town hall and their police there, they hold their concerts there, right? They have certain concert venues that come in and kind of utilize that green space. Parking turns into a challenge, no doubt, right?
Absolutely.
But it is usable area, green space that you can look at, but then also have an extra purpose for. So there's definitely creativity there that can be explored for sure.
Thank you.
So I just have one real quick question. In a nutshell, could you tell me why core would be better for our village than maybe others?
Yes, sir. We're the best. Can I say that? But I think our qualifications, speak for themselves, right? We, in managing public funds, taxpayers' money responsibly and being fully transparent with it, that sets us above. There's, when it comes to, public safety, for example, and K through 12, right, which is all taxpayer funds. That's where our company, we rise to the top, hanging in the second largest in the country, and that shows to all, like, hey, core, when they get into that market of public funds and spending and responsibility, they're it.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
And so I just had a couple questions too, and again,
Yes.
I'm going to focus on the GMP.
Yes,
because
absolutely.
that was, from presentations for us in the past, I think because if we definitely need that and have to have that, but we don't know, right? We still don't know what we don't know, what could happen in the next year, 2 years when we, get to focusing on this. And then that being said, core is CM construction management then. Are you a design build too?
No, we are not design build. We try to keep that separate as I was talking about that healthy cohesion or that healthy tension there. Our opinion, when you keep that separate and you have that advocate in the middle, that manager in the middle, there's no vagueness of who's doing what, right? You have your design team here, you have your manager here, and you have the client here. So that way there's no blend there. We're keeping them strictly separate. So that's more transparency, in my opinion, there.
Do you have certain firms of the buildings and the subs that you always work with then? Or we'd have to hire that then too?
No, we do.
Okay.
So there, as far as delivery methods go, kind of under that construction manager, right, we can go at risk, as they call that, right, where the contracts are held by us. A true CM, contracts would be held by the village, which puts obviously the village at risk. But core at risk is probably where we hang our hat the best at, but still under that umbrella of construction management. But yes, I always like to kind of say we have a black book of our trade partners that we've worked with for decades.
Okay.
Yep.
That's all I.
Thank you.
And the individuals that'll be on the site, the ones that the village will be working with, are they going to be local? Will they be fairly local, or how
Yes, sir.
much
Yes,
access will we have to them?
Very, very local. And if there is, we always take in consideration, local contractors first, right? And supporting the community from within. And with some of that, I feel I'm pretty local to here, so I know a decent amount of the trade partners. But if there is a case where there's not, we do hold trade partner fairs that we'll advertise, and we'll hold that either at a town hall or we'll hold that locally to just kind of spur that to see how we can bring in others that we may or may not know, just to kind of bring excitement to the project, just to keep that competitive edge in the project as well. So we always have that competitive pricing as a component too. The more we can invite, the better the pricing is.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, guys.
All right. Thank you very much.
Moving on to the administrator's report.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, everyone. First item under my report is vehicle purchase, Department of Public Works. The Department of Public Works Superintendent has budgeted the purchase of a new utility pickup truck for fiscal year 2024. The goal is to supplement the utility fleet by providing additional trucks to his expanding department. Additionally, and this is going to be a correction here, the 2012 Ford F-150 is going to be transferred, but not in this year to EMA. It will be transferred in fiscal year 2025. DPW will have to make one more purchase of a utility vehicle for this transfer to take place, and that would be scheduled for next year. This purchase would be part of the South Suburban Cooperative bid process. Due to the nationwide supply chain vehicle chip shortages plaguing the vehicle industry, a board consensus was taken at the May 24th, 2023 board meeting, which allowed the down payment on the vehicle, reserving it from sale. A copy of the vehicle invoice has been attached for your review. The board action request is a motion to approve the purchase of a 2023 Ford F-150 utility pickup truck in the amount of $48,300.26.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Trustee Rakes?
Yes.
Trustee Wilson?
Yes.
Trustee Udris?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
Trustee Horn?
Yes.
Trustee Henson?
Yes.
Thank you, Board. Next item, traffic impact study, professional service agreement, White and Associates. As the village continues to experience economic growth and the development of our town center, one of the areas that will continue to be impacted is the Monee Manhattan Governor's Highway Corridor. Over the past few years, the village has met with the Will County Department of Transportation and potential developers. Many of these discussions address growing concerns over the increasing traffic volume at these locations. In a recent meeting with the Will County DOT, Eastern Will County mayors, and administrators, the topic of discussion was the freight mobility plan concerning commercial vehicle traffic volume and connectivity from Interstate 57 to Illinois Route 394. Additionally, the Manhattan-Monee Road widening project, which is anticipated to start in 2026, was discussed. The village conveyed its concerns over the current traffic numbers and requested that the road widening project be moved to a much closer start date, and that Will County locate an east-west route outside of the village limits. We believe that one key component needed to continue in this discussion would be a traffic impact study to confirm the growing traffic counts. Therefore, village staff respectfully request White and Associates to conduct a traffic impact study in the Monee Manhattan Governor's Highway Corridor. White and Associates have submitted a proposal to conduct a traffic impact study in the amount of $15,950.00, with the budgeted reimbursable expenses included. The scope of services would include a baseline 2023 traffic data, perform 24-hour traffic count processing, and crash data analysis. Board action request is a motion to authorize the mayor to sign the professional services agreement with White and Associates in the amount of $15,950.00 and to include budgeted expenses as outlined in the attached proposal.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Any discussion?
One question that I just want to make sure that I'm clear on, because this is a service, we do not have to put this out for bid, correct?
Correct.
Okay, and we've worked with these gentlemen, this group in the past, right?
Correct. Approximately a year ago, they did the Ridgeline, Monee Manhattan impact study.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Wilson?
Yes.
Trustee Udris?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
Trustee Horn? Yes. Trustee Henson?
Yes.
Trustee Rakes?
Yes.
Thank you, Board. The next item is the Court Street Area Water Main Replacement Pay Request to Iroquois Paving Corporation. The village has recently received partial pay request number 1 from Iroquois Paving Corporation for the above referenced project. After review by staff and Robinson Engineering, we find that the scope of work provided complies with the specified engineering plans. Therefore, we recommend that Iroquois Paving Corporation is entitled to payment in the amount of $818,046.64, as summarized Total earned to date is $908,940.71, less a 10% retention of $90,940.71, for a subtotal of $818,046.64, less a previous payment of $0. Amount due this payment, $818,046.64. Board action request is a motion to approve pay request number 1 from Iroquois Paving Corporation in the amount of $818,046.64.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
I would just like to mention, as other municipalities, and especially in the south suburbs in this region, are reaching financial difficulties in replacing the water mains and not having appropriate plans in place, right? It takes a lot of preparation, allocating the funds and discipline to set those funds aside for the future dates. Water mains aren't sexy, right? These things, they're under the ground, you can't see them. But everybody complains once they don't get water, water's not taken away from the house. But previous boards and this board are doing their due diligence to make sure those things happen. Necessary repairs, necessary maintenance, and keeping up with that. So I commend this board and also previous boards for taking proper action and not putting us or jeopardizing us and putting us in a bad situation where we're scrambling to make things happen. So kudos to us and the previous board.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Udris?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
Trustee Horn?
Yes.
Trustee Henson?
Yes.
Trustee Rakis?
Yes.
Trustee Wilson?
Yes.
Thank you, Board. Next item, water main replacement project, engineering services proposal. The village has received the attached engineering services proposal from Robinson Engineering LTD for the upcoming 2023 Main Street water main replacement project. This project will consist of new water main and encompass the following areas. Number 1, Main Street, from Linden Avenue to Ruby Street. 2, Linden Avenue from Main Street to Court Street. 3, Eastgate Avenue, Margaret Street to Court Street. The scope of services include topographic survey, $26,000, 0 cents. Engineering design, $69,000, 0 cents. Easement documents, if needed, $1,500 per parcel. This project will require a capable engineering firm with an understanding of the village's infrastructure, as well as past, current, and future planning efforts. Robinson Engineering have a proven track record and have continued to demonstrate a professional and courteous response to both residents and village staff. Therefore, we recommend Robinson Engineering to assist with this reference project. The board action request is a motion to approve the mayor signing the engineering services agreement with Robinson Engineering LTD for the reference project. The proposed agreement amount is $95,000 and 0 cents and would include easement documents, $1,500 per parcel if needed, and any reimbursable expenses as outlined in the wage scale attachment.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
Trustee Horn?
Yes.
Trustee Henson?
Yes.
Trustee Rakis?
Yes.
Trustee Wilson?
Yes.
Trustee Udris?
Yes.
Thank you, Board. The next item is an IDOT resolution, Monee 2023 Roadway Maintenance Program. The village has been provided $339,273.48 in Rebuild Illinois funding through a grant program using proceeds from general obligation bonds authorized in the Rebuild Illinois Capital Program to provide municipalities with funds for capital projects. The village is preparing its 2023 roadway maintenance program and would like to put these funds toward the construction cost associated with this program. The roadway and street improvements scheduled for 2023 are outlined in the attachment resolution. A board action request is a motion to approve the Illinois Department of Transportation's resolution for improvement under the Illinois Highway Code.
Make that motion.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Trustee Horn?
Yes.
Trustee Henson?
Yes.
Trustee Rakis?
Yes.
Trustee Wilson?
Yes.
Trustee Udris?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
Thank you, Board. End of my report.
Thank you. Moving on to the officials' reports. Public Works, Trustee Horn.
Good evening, everyone. Well, I have good news. The water main on Court Street is in service. All homes have been connected, and the old water main has been abandoned, and then the concrete contractor, which will be J&J Newell, they will be out next week, hopefully early next week, to replace sidewalks that were removed during construction, and there was quite a few of those. And I saw our current contractor kind of prepping for that today. Timeline for landscape restoration is yet to be determined, and I hope that will be sooner than later, and we will work on getting that done as quickly as possible. But it will be after, of course, the concrete work. Westbound approach of the Court Street Bridge has had a temporary patch installed. Some people have talked about that, asked about that. It's to soften the bump that arose after the bridge repairs were made. A permanent patch will be installed with various areas related to the water main project. So that's Court Street. Tree replacement, last week Public Works crews removed dead and dying trees from village parkways to make room for new plantings. Stumps will be ground down and new trees planted in the coming weeks, with DPW staff watering the young trees rather than burden the residents with watering them in the summer heat. And then branch pickup is next scheduled for Monday, June 19th. End of report.
Thank you.
If I may, before we move forward, the item for the resolution for IDOT is 2023-3.
Moving on to Parks and Recreation, Trustee Gonzalez.
Thank you, Mayor. First of all, we had our next supervisor start with Parks and Recreation last week. Her name is Emily Costeca, so you'll start seeing some more help around in Diana's office. So please welcome her. She comes to us from Bloomington, Indiana. She's got her master's in public health and Parks and Rec and a bachelor's in political science. She's worked in various areas, including outdoor recreation specialist, enrollment specialist, park ranger for the Bureau of Land Management, I think is really cool, and completed an internship with the U.S. Forest Service. So welcome to Emily, and so we look forward to seeing all kinds of nice new projects with her as well. Today we have our first movies in the park at dusk. You might have seen her leaving, pretty quickly after the 150th birthday celebration meeting, and went over to our first movies in the park, playing Mitchell's and the Machines, and Animal Wellness of Monee for sponsoring all of our movies in the park this summer. Monday, the Village of Monee is hosting our first ever Juneteenth celebration behind the Village Hall from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. There will be a prayer and history of Juneteenth, some GSU dancers and a fitness demonstration, sounds of live music band, and food available for purchase from Eat the Bone. Come learn about our other parks. Tuesday, June 20th is our first party in the park at Sunrise Park from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Free hot dogs, chips, water balloons, jumpies, and more. And June 28th is our next movies in the park at dusk with Surfs Up. So again, please stay tuned. We did have our next 150th birthday celebration meeting prior to this one. So please look out for that. We have many, many volunteer groups in this town. And the only way we're going to make this absolutely spectacular in the celebration is having help. So I invite anybody who wants to become a part of this celebration to do that as well, and be on the lookout on Diana's Facebook page and on the village website for the next meeting. End of report.
Thank you. Finance, Trustee Rakis.
Thank you, Mayor. The month of May had $974,528.73 in revenue and $629,945.74 in expense. Preliminary fiscal year 2023 budget to an actual numbers are as follows. The general fund budgeted revenue of $16,325,000 versus an actual $14,241,000. The general fund budgeted expenses were $22,298,000 versus the actual $11,054,000. The general fund preliminary financials as a $3.1 million surplus. These funds will be transferred to the village's money market account for future capital improvements. End of my report.
Thank you. Economic Development, Trustee Wilson.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Under Unite Monee, Monee Liquor and Eat the Bone Restaurant and Second Place Food Pantry were adversely affected yesterday when a vehicle came off the roadway and made contact with the building. So the best way we can help out those businesses is by patronizing them when they're operational. So make sure we stop in there and see Eat the Bone and Monee Liquor and the pantry when it's open and keep them operational and moving. Under Magnified Monee, we got, as we heard today, the presentation from CORE. The Economic Development Director, Bill Brown, is meeting with different developers in reference to developing our developing the plans that we had decided upon in the area of Monee, Manhattan, and also Governor's Highway, so for the comprehensive plan. And also just bringing new business into the town and entertaining those potential business clients. Enterprise Zone is nearing completion. Further action is to be taken later on in the meeting, so stand by. And as Trustee Gonzalez stated, for our first Juneteenth celebration, make sure you come out and participate right back here on the back 40, right? So hope to see everyone there. And as always, when available, shop Monee. End of report, Mayor.
Thank you. Building Services, Trustee Henson.
Thank you, Mayor. We'd like to welcome our newest member to the Building Services team, whom is going to be a part-time code enforcement officer, Michael Kaz. He's raring to go from what I talked to him today. So, Iroquois Paving is progressing on the build-out at 6025 West Industrial Drive. They have currently completing their connections to municipal utilities. Illinois is on schedule to adopt the 2021 International Energy Code effective 9/1 of 2023. The Building Services team has had the class training on June 13th of 23 for the changes from the 2018 release. End of report.
Great, thank you. Public Safety, Trustee Udris.
Thank you, Mayor. For emergency management, on June 2nd, EMA assisted Monee Fire with traffic control for some wires down in the 7700 block of Drawley Road. On the 3rd of June, EMA assisted Monee Police with a veteran motorcycle ride escort. On June 7th, EMA assisted the Special Olympics Police Torch Run. And on June 13th, EMA assisted our Public Works with the vehicle that struck a building at 25655 South Governor's Highway. Lastly, for EMA, we have received several concerns over the air quality during the recent Canadian wildfires. So EMA did put up a link on their village emergency management webpage for you for the most up-to-date and current information. But you could also go to www.air.now.gov for more information on that. For our police department, Monee Police participated in Special Olympics Torch Run on June 7th. Our officers were joined by former Mayor Farquhar and his son, who ran in honor of Mayor Farquhar's recently deceased daughter. Also on June 7th, Monee Police Department joined Crete Monee second graders and Reverend Hunt at New Hope Church for an egg drop event. Cap was in attendance for that and was able to put on a little kid-friendly show, so a great time was had by all. So, and as I always say too, when you see our officers on the street, make sure you wave, make sure you smile, and really tell them thank you for what they're doing for us. They're doing a great job. End of report.
Thank you. Moving on to the attorney's reports.
Thank you, Mayor. I have 4 items for the board's consideration. The first item is an intergovernmental agreement between the Village of Monee and University Park This basically deals with streetlights. Both UP and Monee agreed that the existing streetlights on the west and south legs of Monee, Manhattan, and the Egyptian Trail intersection are hereby owned by the Village of Monee. Both parties further agreed that the existing street lighting on the north and east legs of Monee Manhattan Road and the Egyptian Trail are hereby owned by University Park. Both parties are responsible for their portion of the street lighting, and it clarifies who's responsible and what costs are going to be paid. This will, if the board deems appropriate, motion to authorize Mayor Bach to sign the same, and then we'll send it over to University Park for their approval.
Make that motion.
Second.
Any discussion?
Just a question then too, so this is not as a surprise to them? Do they have to do the same IGA as we do, or they just sign these documents?
They'll just sign
They'll
these.
just sign these?
I'm pretty sure, I know Jeff's been working with them. We've gone a couple board meetings over there, and I'm pretty sure they're aware of the situation.
Okay, thank you.
And if I recall, this was regarding, I know we had a meeting a year ago, more than a year ago, about some decorative streetlights, and this was kind of the
Yes, sir.
the roadblock in the way.
Yes, sir.
Getting this squared away. Okay, thank you.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
Trustee Horn?
Yes.
Trustee Henson?
Yes.
Trustee Rakis?
Yes.
Trustee Wilson?
Yes.
Trustee Udris?
Yes.
Thank you, Mayor. The next item, as Trustee Wilson alluded to, is this is an ordinance approving Mayor Boggs to execute the amendment to the Will Cook Enterprise Zone. If the board recalls, we had a couple of public hearings relative to this amendment. What we're attempting to do is include additional property that was not in the initial enterprise zone. I believe the other villages have approved this, but we do need the mayor to sign it on behalf of the Village of Monee.
I'll make that motion.
A second.
Any further discussion on that?
Now, the company, the name of the company, it's escaping me right now, but they expedited this whole process and meeting with the different municipalities to make this happen. It's really laborsome and cumbersome if we would designate someone from our village to do that. It would take many different components to do that because there's a lot of meetings that need to take place. And they expedited it and they made it happen. So I'm happy to see this come to fruition because in lieu of a TIF, and some parts or some districts aren't TIFable, this would fill that gap where we allow businesses an opportunity to entice them to come into Monee and take advantage of what funds are available. So I'm really excited to see this happen so we can get to the next level with this.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Horn?
Yes.
Trustee Henson?
Yes.
Trustee Rakis?
Yes.
Trustee Wilson?
Yes.
Trustee Udris?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
2034.
Thank you, Mayor. The next item is an ordinance relative to the annexation of 90 acres of the Governor's Highway south of Industrial Drive. This is the parcel that we had the public hearing tonight pertaining to, as we referred to it, the Mr. Bonema parcel. We bought this property. We had the 2 public hearings. Now, what we have to do is pass this ordinance, and then we will file it with the county, and it will be officially within the Village of Monee.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Trustee Henson?
Yes.
Trustee Rakis?
Yes.
Trustee Wilson?
Yes.
Trustee Udris?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
Trustee Horn?
Yes.
2035.
Thank you, Mayor. The next item is, I know Bill and Ruben have put a lot of time in this redevelopment agreement. It's relative to what we talked about in previous board meetings. It'd be for the development of roughly 6 acres on Governor's Highway and Monee Manhattan Road, where the Jim Revell property used to be part of it. It's a draft for the board's review, and what we'd like to do, if it's okay, it all says is draft, though. I think Bill would like to get it to the realtor sometime this week, because they're going to go to finance with this proposed development. We still got a long ways to go, but I know Bill's on the phone every day with these people, and it's up for the board's review and consideration. I know we'll talk about it further probably in executive session, but at least it's a draft so we can talk about it further in executive session. And the board deems appropriate after that, we can at least authorize Bill to send it to Ohio? Okay. North Carolina. That was close. Charlotte, North Carolina, I got enough of their emails. So no action yet, but just so the board has it in front of them when we go in executive session. Thank you, Mayor.
Are we missing, is it this one here, number 3? Which one? 2, we did that one. We didn't do this one. We good? Okay.
Any unfinished business?
I wanted to take this time, especially since, to introduce Chris Fairchild, especially since I told him the wrong time of the meeting, so I really apologize for that. But Chris, I know will make a great addition to the police pension board, and I've known him for a while, I think since at least one of the first days he moved into town. So Chris, why don't you stand up, say hi to everyone there. Thank you, Chris.
Okay. Thank you, Doug. Any new business? Okay. Open to the public, non-agenda items.
Good evening, Mayor, Administration, Trustees, Chief. My name is Graham Robertson. I'm a residential homeowner who reside in Gorman Farm subdivision. I'm here to make a public record of a commercial enterprise being allowed to operate within a village zone estate residential neighborhood. On May 17th, 2023, I met with Romy Barris, Building Services, at my home. Discussion was related to Kevin Gorman expanding his commercial farming business on residential lot within the subdivision and the use and exposure to pesticides, herbicides, fungicides commonly applied in farming. The restrictive covenants and the village current 2022 zoning map done by Robinson Engineering require these lots for residents only. The blow-up of the village's own zoning map classify these lots as estate residential. That's what you're looking at now. Public record and confirmation with Will County Assessor's Office provide the lot as of today is owned by George Wolf Revocable Living Trust, with a current tax bill going to his address, also located in Gorman Farms. However, his home was sold in March of this year. So did Gorman purchase the land, lease the land, or just squatting on the land? Romy, per email exchange, met with Kevin Gorman to discuss the zoning situation, complaint, and allowable uses under the ER zoning. The email was dated 5/31/23. I replied to Romy that Kevin Gorman still was continuing to farm the residential lot. Romy, per email, relayed the village attorney would call me on Monday, June 5th, 2023 to discuss the concern. I did not receive a call, but I did, however, find an email from the village attorney in my spam relaying he was first going to discuss the situation with the village administration. Today marks 1 month since I met with Romy Barris and still have no response to this issue other than we're working on it. However, in the meantime, residents that may walk their dogs, push a stroller with their kids, or just out for a walk in front of this lot on the street, as their dogs may walk on the grassy easement and transfer, come in contact with chemicals
from these agents, herbicides, pesticides, on their feet. This then is tracked back in your house, unless you're washing your dog's feet or your own. Workers in the field, which Gorman has, along with equipment, are in contact with the field, and unless they decontaminate themselves or equipment after exiting the field, it is transferred to the easement and street. The federal EPA is so concerned about this transfer that in 40 CFR, Certified Federal Register, Part 156 and 170, under Agriculture Worker Protection Standard, which provides law by which workers in the fields must use PPE, personal protective equipment, and decontaminate methods in conjunction with a farmer having to post what chemicals he is using on that field. I'm not against farmers. This is not what this is about. I'm against farming within a residential community. These residents with breathing and heart problems do not even realize what is being transferred via foot traffic or what is called volatilization. This is when the conversion of a solid or a liquid chemical converts to a gas via air content. This can last up to 30 days for it to dispel. Now who am I really to address this concerning chemicals? Well, my wife is a chemical engineer, worked in the hazardous waste industry, as myself. We've done Superfund cleanups. We understand what transfer is all about. So we have a right in over 70 years to know what we're talking about. I moved into this neighborhood based on covenants and zoning. Now the village is allowing commercial farming within an actual subdivision with homes that contribute to the tax base. No less than anywhere from $10,000 to $18,000 annually per each home in our subdivision. That lot that is being farmed pays $80 in 2022 for taxes. Yet the crops being grown on it will provide many thousands. The restrictive covenant states, and this is for Gorman Farms, a lot is a parcel of land in this subdivision under common fee ownership, occupied or intended for occupancy by one dwelling having frontage upon a street. It's not a commercial enterprise, but a residential home. So either the subdivision is residential or it's not. It's that simple. I know the wheels turn slow in government, but your actions as far as our zoning is not really the issue. This is also a health and safety problem. And the longer you allow this to keep going on, the more it keeps transferring from your dog's paws to your carpet, or from your feet to your carpet, or to your garage. Thank you.
Thank you. Not in effect.
A couple things that I did forget in my report, as usual. Sorry, Kids Day. So I forgot two things in my report, and I'm supposed to remind everybody. Kids Day is July 8th, and that is also the same day as the Monee Chamber of Commerce Day at the Slammers game. So call the Monee Chamber if you need tickets for that. And the following month in July, I believe it's the 20th of July, will be the second annual senior fair at Parks and Rec as well. So sorry and thank you.
Thanks, Ivy. All right, can I have a motion, please, to go into executive session for
So moved.
item number?
Jump the gun.
Item number 1, 5 ILCS 120/2C1, appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of a specific employee. Item number 2, 5 ILCS 120/2C5, consideration of sale of real estate, PIN number 2114211000170000.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Rakes,
Yes.
Trustee Wilson,
Yes.
Trustee Udris.
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez,
Yes.
Trustee Horn. Trustee Henson,
Yes.
7:38.
Thank you. May I have a motion to reopen regular session?
So
please?
moved.
Roll call, please.
Yes.
Trustee Henson,
Yes.
Trustee Rakes, Trustee Wilson,
Yes.
Trustee Udris.
Yes.
Okay. Item P, possible action to be taken after executive session, ordinance approving sale of property of real estate. Can I please have a motion for said ordinance?
Make the motion.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Horn,
Yes.
Trustee Henson,
Yes.
Trustee Rakes,
Yes.
Trustee Wilson,
Yes.
Trustee Udris.
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez.
Yes.
2036.
Thank you. May I please have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion, Mayor.
Second.
Roll call.
Trustee Henson,
Yes.
Trustee Rakes,
Yes.
Trustee Wilson,
Yes.
Trustee Udris.
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez.
Yes.
Trustee Horn. 8:45 PM.
Thank you, everyone.